Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. So last week we discussed how Michael Oaleen sat down with Variety to discuss a wide variety of topics regarding the future of Cartoon Network, and if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll leave a card above to it, but one of the things that we discussed in the video was the future of live action and Cartoon Network. We all know that live action and Cartoon Network has always been a rather controversial topic. As we all know, live action first burst onto the scenes back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, and it didn't really do that well or last that long, and I think we all probably presumed that that would be, live action's last and final day on Cartoon Network. I don't think anyone really expected it to come back until about a year, maybe 2 years ago. Tom Asching announced that live action shows would be returning to the channel, and this was reacted to amongst the Cartoon Network community with a lot of displeasure. People were upset to hear that they were going to try live action once again, and I was always of the mindset with Cartoon Network and live action that I understood why they were attempting it. You look at Nickelodeon, you look at Disney, they have kind of been the juggernauts when it comes to live action kids content for the past 15-20 years. They've had a lot of iconic series come out of those, two channels alone in the kids live action space, so it only made sense for Cartoon Network to want to dive into this market, to try to see if they could create the next Drake and Josh, or the next Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or whatever live action kids series that you remember being iconic back in the day. I understood that. The whole thing, in my opinion, with Cartoon Network and live action is not only the fact that obviously at face value we can say, okay, Cartoon Network, it's in the name, cartoon, not live action network. This is a place to watch cartoons, don't drive it down with live actions. I always understood that argument. I get it. This is supposed to be the go-to animation network. Don't put live action on it. If you want to do a live action kids channel, make a new channel for that, or put it even on Adult Swim if you want to, or maybe make a new block for that takes place during Adult Swim. I always understood that argument, but I always felt like the bigger issue was that Cartoon Network just didn't have a high quality output of live action series. If you think about it, the only two live action shows, or three rather, that didn't get canceled in their first season was Dude, What Would Happen, Destroy Build Destroyed, and later on Level Up. Every other live action series was a critical and financial failure for Cartoon Network. So now we fast forward to about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years at most, and Tom Asching announced that live action was once again returning to Cartoon Network, and this was met with a lot of distaste from the fans. A lot of people were upset to hear this, and like I said, I understand why Cartoon Network wanted to do this, but at the same time, it's not your bread and butter. Your bread and butter is high quality animated content, and this is not that. Live action series do not fall into that category. Again, I think that you could try to do something live action, but maybe put it on Adult Swim if you want to use Boomerang for that, which I know might be a little controversial in and of itself, but Boomerang isn't really being used for much of anything right now, so I would understand if they wanted to do it there. But the whole point I'm making today's video, the whole reason why, is because during Michael Oaleen's sit-down interview with Variety, he announced that live action, pretty much all of the shows that were in development over at Cartoon Network in the live action front, they've all been canceled. So it looks like live action is actually not coming to Cartoon Network. Which, like I said, I think that Cartoon Network is not the place for live action. If you want to do some live action content for, teenagers or young adults, maybe create a new channel for that, or maybe put it on HBO Max or somewhere else. I just find it really interesting that it's kind of changed completely their direction for the channel. Cartoon Network under Tom Asching, and maybe I'll make a full video discussing his vision for Cartoon Network, because I think we have a clear picture of what it was at this point. Cartoon Network for Tom Asching had live action as a component of it. We knew that there were live action series in development. I'm sure there would have been this whole live action block and all that. And now that's kind of gone. It's gone completely, and I find it interesting to see that while everything that's come out of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger has been rather negative, I would say, for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of positive headlines since this merger happened. It just is interesting to me to see that, Cartoon Network is now getting rid of live action, which again is what the vast majority of people wanted. They didn't want to see live action return to the channel. And now it seems like, based on, everything he said in that article, everything he said in that interview, and again, if you haven't heard all of that, I'll leave a card above to that video so you can check that out, because there's a lot of good stuff there that I really find interesting. But it seems like Cartoon Network is going to go back to its bread and butter, which was high quality animated content all throughout the 2000s and into the early 2010s. It's just like I said, it's really interesting to me to see all of this negativity is coming out of Warner Brothers Discovery. Everything that's happened, all the shows being removed from HBO Max, all the cancellations, all of that has happened, right? And we've all kind of looked at them like, what are you guys doing? Do you have a plan? Do you know what you're doing? You guys want to drive this company into the ground? Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? It seems like, at least with the Cartoon Network side of things, there is a plan. There is a concrete plan on moving this network forward and getting it back to the golden age of Cartoon Network, which, if we're being honest, are we ever going to hit that again? I don't know. I'm not going to say that we are, but it looks like they're going to at least try to hit that golden age of Cartoon Network again, which is good. At least make the attempt. Let's see how it turns out, and we'll see what comes of all of this. At least right now, it seems like, live action is gone. That's something that the fans wanted to see go away. They've been acknowledging classics a little bit more, which I would say to an extent is what the fans wanted. Obviously, people want to see classics have a permanent home on Cartoon Network again, which we haven't exactly gotten there yet, but it just seems to me like Cartoon Network's direction has kind of turned around. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here in the future with Cartoon Network, but as of right now, it seems like we're going back to the drawing board and going back to what made Cartoon Network great back in the day, which was high quality animated content. Like I said, live action doesn't have a home on Cartoon Network, and it looks like Michael Oaleen and the current executives there agree with this, and they're trying to bring it back to what it used to be. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. Are you guys happy to hear that live action series have been canceled over at Cartoon Network? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.